And I think for the use of the radar gun section, we need to look into, first off, there never was in Virginia a certification program for certifying radar operators. It has been left up to the individual departments, police departments, to train their people as they see fit. And I can tell you 99% of the departments in Virginia, including the Department of State Police, takes you out, puts you in the car, sits you down and says, here's how you turn it on, the number will pop up and you'll see the car. Which is the furthest thing from the truth.
Who's responsible for the calibration of the radar gun?
And that's another.
That's part of the certification process.
Oh, that's an operator certification. I'm talking about calibration of the gun.
Calibration.
Who's responsible for that? It's not the state.
That's why I have a lot of problems with this on private patrols like this, because state law mandates that if you're presenting this in court, it has to be calibrated twice a year. Calibration is not putting a tuning fork in front of it. It's measuring the half power point of the wave and several other things.
So
They're responsible for it. It needs to be in here, is my point.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about radar guns, we need to have contractual requirements in our contract. Right now, there are no contractual requirements. It says if you want to use a radar gun, do it, but you got to have somebody else how to turn it on. It doesn't say that they have to use it. Doesn't say that how often they have to use it. Doesn't say if they have to maintain it. There are no contractual requirements in this contract.
For the purposes of getting this roving patrol started, may I suggest that we put this as an aside, that is that they will be required to use it according to rules that we establish. And then the contract is complete and we can move forward on this by little research and a little development and figure out what rules we need to operate this correctly before they actually go to operate.
Okay, so where do you want to make a change?
Under the use of the radar gun, I agree with Steve.
What if we add, wait a minute, before you go on, what if we just said, is only to be used by a certified operator designated by the compliance committee? Because some of the disconnect has been the people out here in the real world trying to enforce this stuff, and then sitting down with the compliance committee when they're trying to enforce this stuff. If we could connect the two by the compliance committee simply meeting with the person that's going to be doing it, seeing what their certification is, and designating, okay, you're okay, you can use a radar gun when you want to. Just add the words.
I don't want to put the compliance committee that
It's
responsibility.
not part of their charge.
No.
To review the staff and approve staffing.
No, we have to
I say
establish
approve as a designated.
a rule and a specific certification required that Ray can say, you either have this or you do not, and if you do not, you cannot.
If you want to do something, you could just take this whole section and say the whatever we're calling it, the agency shall utilize radar guns in accordance with policies to be established by the
General manager.
by the whomever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That would work.
All right, John, you want to repeat that?
Yes, the agency shall employ a radar gun in a manner to be specified by the general manager.
That sound good to everybody? And next month we'll debate what traffic violations we're actually going to enforce, what traffic rules we're going to enforce, and how we're going to enforce them.
Didn't understand that question.
Process, who delivers the,
I don't think the board is, I don't think there's a good consensus on the board whether we should even be measuring speed.
We've already decided
You've
this,
already
right?
decided.
Unless we're going back, Wayne, and changing what the board has approved before.
So I guess
Let's not start reinventing. I don't care if we talk about it, but all this has been approved. This is nothing new. Radar gun's been approved, stop signs have been approved, all this has been approved.
By a different board.
It doesn't matter.
No,
Unless we
but-
want to
No,
retract it.
but any board can retract the decisions of the
Absolutely.
previous board.
Absolutely.
And I think this board is is kind of waffling this whole thing.
You
I think
recall,
this board is waffling on compliance, that would be my statement, yes.
do you recall
Not on
when this
compliance.
radar gun thing was addressed? I do not recall for the life of me approving the use of, I recall debating it.
At least a year or so, because we did it, we did it.
Okay, if we did it, there's a record of having done it.
I don't recall either.
I don't recall, I'm sorry, but I do not recall.
We
the
did
board-
it, but.
If we did it, there's a record of having done it, we can bring that record back and re-debate it.
I think we ought to at least review what we think we've agreed to, and then if need be, relook at it. I just don't recall agreeing to do it. I recall this entire discussion occurring.
All right. Can we take this discussion to next week in the interest of getting this contract replaced where we can sign it?
Yeah.
I thought next month is what I meant to say, Dave.
Well, just one more question. We got reckless driving in here and we have aggressive driving in here. Neither one is defined. We go with, Virginia code on reckless driving. And what is aggressive driving? I haven't seen that defined lately. I know what it is on the Beltway.
Yeah, aggressive driving is such a nebulous term, it can mean
Anyway,
anything.
we're gonna leave Haines to define what reckless driving is and what aggressive driving is.
Yes.
I'd recommend you take off aggressive driving.
I think there's so many possibilities as to what it is, you want to give them the latitude to make that determination.
Wanna give them that
They're
latitude?
the guys on the road, and
You think
by
they want that
defining it,
latitude?
you're gonna limit them.
What
Yeah, but you
difference
need to
does
explain it
it,
to
for a minute,
them.
let's just practically, what difference does it make? Is a citation any different? I mean, out there in the real world, it's different. You pay big bucks for this and bigger bucks for this. But in here, does it make any difference? If I cite you for doing something wrong, it's still the same citation, right? $50 a pop for speeding or for doing anything? So what different, why are we splitting hairs over whether it's reckless or aggressive or obscene or?
I've got a proposal. We have an article on our rule book, which is our rules policy for roads. Stop signs, speed. We have a set of rules. Why don't we just say that the Haines agency will enforce the rules as we write
As-
them? Rather than trying to reiterate them here.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah,
And
that's-
include that as an attachment to this.
Yes.
Citation should be, in place of citation should be issued for the following violations. The agency will enforce whatever article it is at the jail.
But somewhere, doesn't it?
I believe for many reasons you want to get out of enforcing the state code.
Right, we have our own,
We have our rules, use those.
Fine.
This is getting to the point where I'm not sure we can actually approve it. It's such a mess, just,
I'm sorry to go backtrack, but the very first paragraph under agreement, I still don't understand what that paragraph says. I understand Lake Holiday Country Club agrees to engage the agency, and the agency agrees to provide the services specified in the Schedule A referenced as the scope of work, period, to me. What does the rest of this say? The client named therein, and in the case of the agency's terms of business, agency service provider. I don't know what any of that means. Could someone explain it?
I'll start that.
Good catch.
I think, Wayne, in all fairness, we need to approve, we need to get a contract in place, because we need them to be doing the job, because we don't have staff to do it, right?
Yeah, I would move that once we finish all the hand scratching, that the board authorize Wayne to sign the contract when it is in fact corrected.